Are you warming up wrong? For something that seems so simple on the surface, it can create a lot of problems and a lot of division within the fitness industry. We have people who build entire identities just off the concept of warm-ups. Whether you've been taken into the ATG cult, you're the random dude in the corner who just loves booty band activation drills, or you've fallen down the mace swinging rabbit hole, it's hard to tell the difference between what's effective and useful and what's just a fad or something that doesn't have a lot of intrinsic value for you. And that's why I asked the question, are you warming up wrong? Because you probably are. If your movement prep is entirely built on things that can polarize a whole industry, you've probably drank too much of that social media or YouTube fitness influencer Kool-Aid. Because when it comes to organizing effective warm-ups, it shouldn't be overly complicated and it shouldn't be overly specific. What it should be is an opportunity for you to create some sort of psychological environment that's conducive to training hard, and prepare your tissues for activity, improving blood flow, creating some pliability within the muscle, and getting the joints and connective tissue ready for whatever you're going to ask of it. It can also be a super valuable time to work on some of those other qualities of fitness that you tend to neglect. For me personally, a good warm-up consists of 2 parts, and these 2 parts can be bundled together quite easily. Firstly, you want something that's going to increase your core body temperature and your heart rate. And secondly, you want to pick 2 to 3 movements from a category of movement that I personally call exploratory movement. The first part's generally the easiest. Anything that will get your heart rate up will do. Whether it's sprints for calories on an assault bike, on a rower, or on a ski erg, or any small type of conditioning circuit. As long as it gets your muscles moving and your mindset shifted towards outputting effort and training, it's probably going to be effective. And achieving this can take as little as 1 minute or up to 5 minutes. Shouldn't take more than 5. As for exploratory movements, I just categorize them as ranges of motion or types of movement that are commonly neglected in general training. Things such as end range isometrics, gymnastics work, deep range plyometrics or throws. Just stuff that's going to put you in positions that you don't commonly enter or force you to move in ways or at different speeds that for somebody who just trains with a barbell isn't normally something that you do. Not only do all these movement types do a fantastic job at generally preparing your body, but because they're movements you don't commonly do, you're going to get really good at them really quickly because there's going to be a pretty substantial gap in skill development. And also you're going to spend a lot of time creating stimulus and adaptations that will produce really good outcomes into the future. Not only that, but taking the time within your warm-ups to introduce some slightly more athletic qualities with some of these exercise selections will go a long way to improving your longevity in whatever sport or thing you enjoy doing, whether it's strength or body composition you're chasing. Moving a little bit more athletically is never going to be a bad thing. So with that being said, what would this layout actually look like in practice? One of my favorite sessions, or one of my favorite ways to build these out, is starting off with 30 calories of a hard sprint on the assault bike. The next thing I'll do is a Jefferson split squat isometric to drive a bit of resilience through those tendons and some workload through the quads. The isometric can be such a valuable tool because the tissue isn't changing length. You can drive a really high level of perceived effort with very little fatigue generated. And then I'll finish off with a front lever variation supersetted with a low ceiling leap. And that's one of my favorite warm-ups to do before my heaviest Olympic lifting session of the week. And even though that is not what you'd call a traditional warm-up for Olympic weightlifting, within those movements I've satisfied all the demands I mentioned previously. I've gotten all the tissues that are going to be involved in my snatch and clean and jerk somewhat prepared. And on top of that, I did a bunch of ramping sets with the specific exercise that I will be training. People forget the warm-up sets that you're working up to your top weight do a hell of a lot to prepare you in those specific contexts. And because of that, a lot of the specific warm-ups people say you need to do are made redundant by the fact you're going to warm up the skill anyway. So you may as well spend that warm-up time working on some of these complementary or adjacent qualities, creating the benefit out of them, and then just doing your normal warm-up scheme anyway from bar to whatever top weight or top set of an exercise you're doing. And not only are you achieving the goal of warming up to that task, whatever it may be, but you're also creating all these secondary adaptations from the stimulus you created in those more unique ranges. So the next time you reach out and grab that booty band to get ready for your next set of squats, take a step back and think, is there a more effective way for me to prepare for this session? Hell, even before your next lower body session, just steal the warm-up session that I outlined above, and I guarantee you it's going to be one of the best lower body sessions you've ever done. Anyway, I'm going to round out there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it to a friend if you found this video valuable, and I've got all my social medias and everything else linked below. If you want programming, ebooks, head down there, check it out, and I'll talk to you guys next time.